what's your position at BYU?
I'm assistant professor of visual arts in the illustration program.
Okay. And you came through the BYU program?
Yep, graduated in 1999 with a bachelor's degree in illustration, BFA.
Okay. So you spent some time away from BYU between graduating and coming back. What were you doing in that time?
Well, at first I wasn't far. I was working here in Utah County in the video game industry about 10 or 11 years ago when the game industry was still young. And I helped make video games. I would do concept artwork, textures, 3D modeling sometimes, some amount of animation, mostly environments, not so much characters, but I've done a little bit of character work. You know, those are entertainment products, but there's a great deal of art that goes into them, especially now with the computer technology reaching the level where you can actually do quite sophisticated things in the artwork in the game. So and then in 2006, I had the opportunity to go to California to work at Blizzard Entertainment on the World of Warcraft phenomenon that it's become. I was an environment artist there for 5.5 years on the WoW team, working on expansions. Same type of work: environment art, textures, concept art, skies, terrain, trees, animation of those objects, water, all those things, and then a little bit of character work like armor and weapons and items in the game. All that while I was doing some freelance work from time to time, including church magazines like Ensign and Liahona, New Era. I also was on contract with the United States Mint for a few years, in the Artistic Infusion program. I only had 2 coins that were actually minted in all that time. One was the Andrew Jackson First Spouse gold coin. It's a ½ ounce commemorative gold coin with the Lady Liberty on the obverse, and the reverse is an image of Old Hickory, Andrew Jackson on horseback in the War of 1812, and that was a very popular image that was past the selection committees, and I was ecstatic to finally have a piece. So then the next year I had something I guess even better, which was the obverse of the 2009 Abraham Lincoln commemorative silver coin, which is a full ounce of silver with a $1 face value, but it's worth more than that. That was a great experience. 2009 was the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth, and that coin was extremely popular. It sold out completely at the mint, and before I even had as many copies as I wanted, so I had to buy a few more of them on eBay, unfortunately. Coins. I mean, I love that art can fit in your pocket, and that it can be reproduced millions and millions of times, and really be memorialized. That your artwork can contribute to this design process with the sculptor engravers at the Mint and all the people there who make it happen in the metal, and that someday, hundreds of years from now, one of those things will be dredged up from the bottom of the sea, and your artwork will be in a museum somewhere or in a collection. So I love that idea that your art can kind of outlive you.
So what made you decide to come back to BYU?
Well, it's a great place. I mean, BYU is a special place. There's no place quite like it. Just the quality of the students, I think, is a big one. That kind of focus and intensity and the optimism, the kind of purity that the students have. I know students aren't perfect, and so I'm not setting them up on a pedestal, but it's just great to work around people who have such goodness about them and who are here to learn, that they're smart, they're focused, they are accomplished, they're smarter than I was when I was a student, and that they have such great potential, and they're going to go and do great things.
Maybe talk a little bit more to the difference between being a student at BYU and being a faculty member. You talked a little bit about, you see the differences there. Maybe just talk a little bit more to that.
I guess I had forgotten how, as a student, I just remembered the good things, but I see in the students' eyes a lot of, I guess, fear or terror or anxiety, or I don't know how else to describe it. A lot of concern and a lot of hope. There's this optimism, but there's also this storm of anxiety that's in most of the students. And I'm sure I remember feeling that as a student, but it's sort of interesting now to be outside of that and to realize, yes, there's many ways to make a career out of this, and you don't have to starve as an artist. I mean, it's sort of a myth. I mean, I know there's artists who starve, but it's not all of us. So